What's up, y'all? This is Josh for Inside Wrestling Truth. Um, Finally got home this afternoon. I did a couple shoot interviews this weekend. I'll get into that a little later. But what we're gonna do here tonight, I just got done watching the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. This is a review. I picked most of the matches right. Uh, there were a few that I missed, but what the hell, you can't get them all right. But let's get into those. The opening match, of course, was the Shield versus the Uso brothers. I picked the Shield to win. Of course, they won. I think they just kind of put the Uso brothers there as somebody for the Shield to wrestle. And I think maybe they're going to maybe they're going to start using the Uso brothers a little bit more. Maybe that's a feud that we're going to start seeing more often. But yeah, the Shield won. Decent match. Uso brothers can work pretty good. With the Shield as hot as they are right now, they're not going to lose. It's just my opinion. I don't see the Shield losing the belts for a while. Then the second match was one of the Money in the Bank matches, where the winner will end up cashing their briefcase in against the world champion one day. Who knows when? But in this match, we had Dean Ambrose, Wade Barrett, Fandango, Antonio Cesaro, Jack Swagger, Cody Rhodes, and Damien Sandow. Now, I got this match wrong, all wrong. I had Jack Swagger winning it, and that's not, as we all know, Damien Sandow won, which was interesting. Maybe Damien Sandow is going to get a good push. You never know. And from what I've seen out of the match, you may see a feud coming between Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. All in all, it's a decent ladder match, but it wasn't really a great ladder match. I mean, you didn't have the greatest of guys in there wrestling. I mean, some of these guys I've never even seen in a ladder match, other than Jack Swagger, But all in all, it's a decent ladder match. Then we go to the Intercontinental Championship match between Curtis Axel and The Miz. We got Paul Heyman chants going nuts in the crowd. You're in the ODCW territory. Well, Paul Heyman gets removed from ringside early on. I guess this was a pretty good match. Curtis Axel can work. He's got potential and he's young. And The Miz, on the other hand, just sucks. I mean, he's boring. I got this match right. Well, Curtis Axel, of course, retains the Intercontinental belt. He's another one. He's going to hold on to that Intercontinental title for a long time. And I don't see The Miz being the one to take it from him. But yeah, I got that match right. That was a pretty good match. Glad to see Curtis Axel hang on to the Intercontinental champ. Like I said, I see him being Intercontinental champion for some time. Which is good because it's good to hold. We need a wrestler that's going to make that Intercontinental belt special again. It's just my opinion. We need somebody that can work, that can be entertaining, and that people are interested in holding the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm really glad Curtis Axel won this match. I picked him to win it anyway. But, yeah, good match. Then we go to Ryback and Chris Jericho. So-so match. I picked this one right as well. Ryback beats Jericho. We've seen over the last few months. Jericho's been putting over a lot of the younger guys. It's good to see these two guys work together. It's just Ryback's just boring to me, but Chris Jericho made him look good, made it look like a good match. It was a good match. I give it to him. Ryback picks up the win over Jericho. It's going to be interesting to see where this feud goes, if it continues or if it just fades away, you know. I think it would be good, though, for Ryback to work with Jericho for a few months. He can learn some stuff from Jericho. But yeah, once again, I picked that match right as well. Ryback picks up the win over Chris Jericho. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler hangs on to the belt, beating Alberto Del Rio hangs on to the belt, beating Dolph Ziggler. I had this one wrong, all wrong. This is where I had Ziggler winning, and I had Jack Swagger winning the Money in the Bank and cashing in and beating Ziggler, but that did not happen. Alberto Del Rio hangs on to the belt. I'm glad to see Del Rio hang on to the belt as long as Ziggler does not have it. I cannot stand watching Dolph Ziggler. I think he is boring. I hope to God this is the end of that program. So now maybe we're going to see Damien Sandow cash his Money in the Bank in against Del Rio, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens next couple weeks. But I don't see Sandow being world champ. I could be wrong because the WWE tends to put the world belt on whoever. But I could be wrong. But yeah, Alberto Del Rio still world champion. I like Alberto Del Rio. I think he's a good worker. Dolph Ziggler, on the other hand, is just boring and way overrated, and it should not be in the spot that he's in. And it's just not him. There's plenty of guys in the WWE that are in that position. Then we go to the WWE Championship match. John Cena versus Mark Henry. I'll pick this match right too, but I mean, this was not no brainstorm. John Cena picks up the win on a submission, beating Mark Henry. It would have been really cool to see Mark Henry win the WWE title, but I knew it wouldn't happen. It sucks for guys like Mark Henry that bust their ass for the WWE but can never be WWE champion. Not a very good match. We see Cena's 3 moves, but Cena sells, so as long as he's selling, he's going to be the champion. It's just the way it is. I'm not a Cena fan, I'm just saying. And then the main event, we go to. I had Brock Lesnar return in this match to replace Kane, but that did not happen either. I don't know how they're going to do the Punk Lesnar feud, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But in this match, we had CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, the return of Rob Van Dam, Sheamus, and Christian. Pretty good match. Randy Orton comes out on top, win the Money in the Bank. I'm a huge Randy Orton fan. I would love to see him cash it in and win it from Cena. And I think it'll happen. I think this might actually be where Randy Orton turns heel again, hopefully. Because I'm waiting for that heel turn for Randy Orton. And I'd love to see him cash it in. It probably wouldn't happen though until probably like SummerSlam. There's usually one of the guys that wins the Money in the Bank hold on to the briefcase for a pretty long time. So, yeah, Randy Orton wins the Money in the Bank. Main event, All-Star Ladder match. All in all, this was a pretty good, decent pay-per-view, which I knew I had thought it would be. That's why I even did predictions and a preview for it. But some things let me down. I would have liked to have seen somebody cash their briefcase in and win a title, or I would have seen Lesnar come back. I'd like to see Lesnar come back in the ladder match and feud with Punk. But all in all, really, really good pay-per-view. Next pay-per-view was a big money pay-per-view, and I will do predictions and a review on that, and that is SummerSlam, one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. Last year's SummerSlam was pretty damn good. I'm expecting another good SummerSlam this year, so we'll just have to wait and see what matches develop for that. Like I said, I won't do many of these, but if it's a good pay-per-view, I will do a preview, prediction, and review. But that's about it for the Money in the Bank review. A couple other things I'd like to say. This weekend I got to do 2 shoot interviews. One with Juicy Jimmy Felcher and Cage Cutler. 2 really cool guys. I'm into it, doing the interviews with the indie guys. Had a blast. I didn't think I was going to get to do the Cage Cutler one, but it worked out for me. Had a blast doing both of them, hanging out with them after the interview, having a couple beers, talking wrestling. It was a lot of fun. Juicy Jimmy Felcher, you can catch him in Corbin, Kentucky at the PWF shows, Pro Wrestling Freedom. Cage Cutler's actually running his indie show. He's got a pretty good show going on. And July 25th, Evolution Pro Wrestling in Clarksville, Indiana. Go check it out. It's got a pretty good card lined up. If you're an independent wrestling fan, go check that out. He was a real down-to-earth guy, and I think he's got a real good vision on this independent wrestling thing he's got going on. Real cool dude. And July 20th at the Colgate Gym in Clarksville, Indiana, the IWA Mid-South has a show going on. Barbed wire match between N. Rotten and Simon Says. Go check that out. That'll be a really good show. I went to the IWA Mid-South show in June, and it was the best independent show I had seen this year and maybe last year, but it was a killer show. Packed, great matches, great hardcore matches. Got to meet a couple former ECW wrestlers there. But definitely go support the IWA Mid-South. It's a booming show. You got to check it out, guys. I got more shoot interviews coming. I know I got one more for sure, probably in a couple weeks, maybe 2. Like I said, these shoot interviews are hard to do, but I try my best to get to them, to give you guys the vision of guys that you haven't seen before, and they can tell you their life in the business. Because it's not all about the WWE and the TNA. The Indies is the heartbeat of this pro wrestling thing, whether you want to believe it or not. So go check it out. Respect it. It's an awesome wrestling dedication. But yeah, support independent wrestling. And shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Cage. And like I always say, get your money and pay your bills. Peace.